Yeah.
What's up?
How do you enjoy the music?
It's nice. I like it.
Oh, this time around we are opposite each other.
Opposite. What's up,
But
man?
never mind, because we got a special guest here. But before we introduce him to our guest, let's welcome everyone online. Once again, welcome to ART, stands for
Art, Rhythm, Technic.
Yeah, and we are your hosts.
We are hosts.
Yes.
I'm Rafi.
And I'm Jason Itchi. Today we have a very, very special guest, right?
That's right.
And who do we have here on my left side? And he is none and others, Kaye. If you know him, if you attended Darker Than Wax events or sometimes you attend any Esplanade events, you should be able to see him. So before we hand the time over, we're going to do a small demo for you guys. So enjoy. Bravo, bravo. That was like on the spot.
Pretty much, yeah.
Or like watching you.
Awesome, man. I like how your kit there. You've got so much going on, and everything's like.
Yeah, man.
And then never
busy.
spill the beer some more. No?
Oh, steady.
That's the most important thing, right?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So, shall we introduce
Yes,
him?
welcome
So,
again, our
yes.
special guest for today.
Yeah, Kaye.
Thank
Kaye
you.
from Darker Than Wax.
So how do you spell K?
Just Kaye.
K-A-Y-E.
Yeah.
So
Then some people will pronounce Kaya. No?
Hey, yeah,
Kaye.
Kaye.
Kaya means rich.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good to know.
So how have you been, man?
I've been good. Thanks for having me.
Most welcome.
Obviously, things are a little bit on the quiet side now because, as you know, what's happened to the whole music and entertainment industry in Singapore, in the world, actually.
Yeah. So what have you been busy with? Making music?
Yeah, I spent quite a large chunk of last year making a lot more music and really going a lot deeper into understanding more like the engineering aspects of music production.
Right.
Because I was always a music producer, and then actually engineering and music production for electronic music is actually hand in hand.
Okay.
So I kind of understood the engineering aspects, I could like fake my way, but I really never was comfortable like really knowing stuff.
Okay.
So I also dedicated quite a bit of time into like really understanding plugins, EQ, compression, the unfun stuff lah,
Very technical, right?
the more technical stuff.
That's the fun stuff for me.
But I mean, I look at that as like the football manager. He's the invisible player of the team.
True,
Well, he's
true.
not on the pitch, but he's equally as important as the rest of the team.
He is important, the one who gather, bond everyone, everything
Exactly.
together.
But you don't see him on the pitch. Yeah, so that's what audio engineering is as an analogy now.
True.
Football manager.
So, have you always been into music or?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, when I was growing up, there was always like music playing in the house, a lot of jazz music. My mother was a jazz fan.
Wow.
So I kind of, when you're a kid, you're stupid lah. You you just do your things in the house, play your game, whatever. But then subliminally something is going on, So it didn't really click for me until I was around maybe like 14. So it's just like really random situation, just like studying for tests or studying for exam, then just go through my brother's cassette collection and just put the cassette on the thing, and like suddenly like, whoa, this music like suddenly really spoke to me,
Wow.
which is really strange lah, because it's like it just hits you out of nowhere, and then next thing I know it's like I want to learn an instrument.
14 years old.
14 years old, I want to learn an instrument. And bear in mind, before that, when I was younger, my sister was a music teacher at Yamaha
Oh,
at that time.
okay.
So young time they put you through piano class, electone, organ, all that kind of nonsense, right?
Classical
Bro,
guitar.
I was hopeless. I was
That was good. That's good.
I was horrible. I could not sing to save my life. I was tone deaf, according to my sister.
Okay.
I was tone deaf. After months of taking piano class, I still don't know where middle C was. So I thought music is like I comes in lah, just cannot forget about it lah, So 14 years old, I told my parents I want to learn instrument. First reaction is like, you sure or not? Because after going through all those like failures as a kid, right? But I mean, look where I am now, 20 plus years in the music industry, live performing and all that. So that was my beginnings lah, the very early
So
beginnings.
what was the biggest leap that are you sure when your parents are asking you?
Yeah, I was just like I was convinced. Like, and then I mean, luckily for me, they decided to give it a chance.
Okay.
So at that time, that particular album that hit me was an album by Miles Davis. It's called "Someday My Prince Will Come." It's not one of his most famous albums, but for some reason that album really spoke to me. So initially, I wanted to learn trumpet. Cause Miles Davis play trumpet, so I want to be like my hero, right?
Yeah.
Then go to the shop, typical Asian behavior. Go to the shop, then you see the trumpet like that, so small. It's this price. Then you see the saxophone so big. It's same price.
Same price.
Yeah, I get more metal for the same price if I get saxophone, right?
Recently, I walked past a Yamaha at Plaza Singapura, and I was telling my boy, it's like, hey, I have a 2.5, almost 3-year-old son, and I was like, hey, you see, you've been talking about music instrument. Is it, this one is a trumpet. This one is a trombone. Then he said, trumpet, so small.
Yeah. See, at that age really can, they have this idea, and also like more
value,
like more value for money. I pay same amount, then I get more metal, more parts, so okay lah, saxophone Then okay lah, so saxophone it is. Then got into a music teacher. Got a music teacher. So I was learning privately. So I never went to like school band and all that kind of stuff lah. So learn privately. And learned for about 2 years, and then my then instructor migrated. Then I've been on my own ever since.
Wow.
So I mean, as good as self-taught lah. Because one thing that maybe some of you might not know about me is even though I've been a musician and been involved in the music industry, entertainment for almost 20 over years, I can't read a score, or I can't read music to save my life. No, serious, bro. Everything that I've done musically is without the knowledge of musical theory. So, can be done lah.
But that's dope, man.
I'm living proof of it.
Play by ear. That's the
ear.
gift, man. That's the gift.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to say perfect pitch because if you don't...
No, I don't have perfect pitch. I think I have relative pitch. But it took me a while to even realize that as well. But I don't have perfect pitch. I mean, and for being told that I'm tone deaf when I was that young, to where I am now, I think it's
that's leap.
It's a bit of a leap. Yeah.
Awesome. So the 2 years of formal training,
they weren't even formal because my music teacher never taught me to read. Why? Because that's a music teacher's job, right? But because he's a music instructor, and he had a picture of I still remember a picture of a Charlie Parker, legendary saxophonist on his wall. So like, okay lah, he's into jazz lah. He's not like those music instructor like do this, then I go and read newspaper. Then at least he had some kind of passion for music lah. Then he found out that I was listening to jazz music actively as well, as a 14-year-old kid. So obviously he gets very excited because all his students are like forced by parents go and learn saxophone, trumpet, and And then first time he has a student that has genuine interest in the music. So he will give me homework. He will say, learn this song. Then the following week we go through the song and then learn your scales, your whatever tissue. So do that. The following week go back, go through the song a bit. Then after that, he's like, because they had those for like jazz music, those play along CDs, right? So it's like instrumental. Then you just practice your songs or whatever. Then after go through the song, maybe not even halfway through the lesson, then he's like, hey, I got the play along CD. We jam. So I end up jamming with my instructor, almost every lesson. Because he's excited to jam with someone who is finally,
someone I can vibe with.
Yeah, exactly. So he was very excited and happy to jam with me every lesson, which meant that my improvisational skills like that, and then my reading skills like that. Because he never taught me to read, but he always taught me how to react to music in a live surrounding. Just. I don't even know how I do it. So detecting keys and what goes with what, it just became very natural for me. Wow. So even when I progressed on into the nightlife scene, I carved a niche for myself as a saxophonist who plays almost exclusively with DJs. And back in the day, nobody did that. Not a single musician played with a DJ. Musicians will play with other musicians. DJs will play with other DJs. Correct. You will never get one crossover into the other world one. So I believe in Singapore, I was arguably one of the first to do it. And that has remained my niche till this day, improvising live over a DJ set.
Wow. I think we have some photos of your past events that he plays alongside. Yeah. Taking a look at this.
That was in OG Zouk, man.
Yeah, the real
Zouk.
That was in the OG Zouk, Jack Kim Street.
Apparently, I just saw someone, our dear friend, just posted and we went there.
Oh yeah, and it's all like rubble now, right?
So
yeah,
sad, right?
all
It's just
torn
sad,
down
so
already.
sad, so
Oh
sad.
man, what a memories.
Here's to the real
Decades,
Zouk.
decades of memories, man, reduced to concrete rubble.
Oh, no. Okay, so what was this event about?
This was okay. Oddly enough, I think that was one of my very first few gigs in Zouk. Because before that, I was really going to Zouk lah, as a clubber lah. And then I don't even know how I got this gig.
Who was
No,
DJing?
sorry, this is not Zouk. This is Velvet.
Velvet Underground.
This is Velvet. Yeah, this is
Yeah,
Velvet.
on the platform.
Yeah, I'm on the podium.
Yeah.
In Velvet. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah,
have a
I don't even
concert.
remember how I got this gig. Probably through Jeremy Boone, I think. Yeah, and it was one of those things like and at that time, I have to say, give credit to Zouk. They were very open to experimentation. Once I belonged to a improvisational band before, so we played improv music. What that means is, when we play improv music, is we don't even know what we're going to play.
On the spot.
There's no discussion. There's no set list. Just 3-4 musicians, put you on stage. Okay, go.
Oh,
So and we got our first gig as an improv band at Zouk. In the main room.
Main room?
Yeah, the main
dope.
room, and they actually built a stage for us.
When was that?
It was it wasn't a weekend lah. I think it was a Thursday, because I think Thursdays they had more
Thursday was the experimental nights,
directions.
yeah.
Yeah, but the fact that I believe it was Andrew Ng at that time. He was the marketing manager. The fact that they said they looked at us, our pitch and everything, and they said okay, hats off, man.
Yeah, that's cool.
nice.
Because
Yeah.
it's a super gamble, it's like experimental improv music in an established club. Who in their right mind is going to allow you to do that today?
True.
Yeah, it's a really big.
It's a very big risk, and the faith they have in you guys is awesome, man.
Yeah, and the fact that they were even willing to take the gamble in the first place, that's why I say hats off to them, So yeah, same for this that gig in Velvet. I had no previous experience or show reel playing with DJs or whatever, but they kind of know my vibe, and then they say, okay, let's give it a go.
Okay.
And then since then, I've been like, not say regular like a resident, but I've on off. I play at Zouk quite a number of times a year to be able to be made to be able to feel like I'm part of the Zouk family also.
Nice.
Even though I'm not formally a staff or anything. So yeah, that was a great experience for me.
Yeah. Okay, let's take a look at the next photo. What event was this? It's the same one, right?
Now this is more recent.
More recent.
Yeah, this is at Lulu's Lounge.
Where is that?
Lulu's Lounge.
Lulu's Lounge
Familiar, this name.
is you know where Bang Bang is? So Bang Bang is the club, and then there's another small area next to the club, which is at the drop-off point. So it's the first thing you see. Long time ago, it was Stereo Lounge. Do you all remember?
Wow, man. Okay, yes.
Right.
Long.
Yeah, we are really revealing.
Stereo Lounge, my time one.
We are revealing our age really lah. We're talking about all this Stereo Lounge lah, Stereo Lab.
History, we have history there.
History, yeah. So it was literally where Stereo Lounge was, and I was a resident at Stereo Lounge when it opened in 2009,
2010, I think, yeah.
around there lah.
29.
Early 2000s.
So was this any special event for this?
No, this was just a regular night. They got me to play with the DJ. I was there every Thursday.
Thursday.
Yeah,
okay.
every Thursday.
Okay.
So like from, it's been so long since I played at a club. I don't even remember all my work schedule timings really. I think I did midnight to 11 till 1 or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, or 12 to 2, one of those things lah. Yeah. So it's like, before they would have a band, like an actual live band,
Right.
and then they would have me and a DJ, and then after that they would have another DJ take over for the rest of the night. So
Okay.
the other DJ goes into more like hip hop R&B kind of programming lah, so a little bit more friendly lah.
Okay. Let's take a look at next photo, right? What do we have? Oh, I remember this particular one. I was there with you guys. Our dear friend.
Yeah, this is Kink, who is also a live electronic producer, performer as well. He plays with the same drum machine that I have. you know.
He also plays with modulars, right?
I think he has like a modular setup at home.
Yeah.
Probably he's gadget king lah.
yeah,
He
yeah.
got a lot of funny things in his pocket, like Inspector Gadget.
Yeah.
Yeah, the sets is like massive setup.
Yeah, a lot of MIDI controllers
So many
and
buttons.
synths. Yeah.
So this event, where was it?
This was at
When,
Council.
Council, the
in
Council-
2019. I think it was their. Was it their anniversary?
Yeah, Midnight Shift anniversary, was it?
Was it? No. I think it was Midnight Show anniversary. But it was a council event lah, so it was there.
Okay.
And the thing about Kink is that okay, so those of you who may not be familiar with Kink, so there's this thing called live acts. So live acts are like people who use a computer and gadgets like you have here to perform and showcase their music lah. So
Live
there's
shows.
like in a live performance,
Yeah.
but it's more often than not one-man band. So it's like one guy controlling all the elements of the music. At most there may be two, right?
Like Chemical Brothers.
Chemical Brothers or
What selector?
Mode Selector. I'm thinking of
Apart from there's four.
I'm thinking of Octave One.
Octave one.
Octave One there's two.
There's two. as
So
well,
one guy works the PA, the other guy works the arrangement. So I mean there are different kinds of setup lah.
Okay.
But
okay.
yeah, so he's known as a live act lah. So
Video?
interesting thing about Kink is that he's been voted by Resident Advisor like #1 live act in the world for at least quite a number of years consecutively lah. So he's got that reputation. You know, he's,
And-
he's at that level.
He's very, very friendly, right?
And yeah, he's cool. So, of all the times that he's been to Singapore, I played with him every single set, except the very first time when he played at Velvet.
Okay.
That was when I still wasn't familiar with him, but I went to the show and I caught his set. And I'm like, okay, this guy is legit.
Let's take a look at the video.
Okay.
Then
Yeah, so this
is-
was one of our sessions.
This is at where?
This was at Kyo.
Ah, the basement.
Yeah, this was at Kyo. I think this was probably.
The Midnight Shift logo at the back.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I think you can see Kaven somewhere. in
Shout
the
out to
background.
Kaven.
Yeah, okay, but if you're watching us in Berlin, Ken Debbie and your little man, happy belated birthday.
So I think this was maybe 2015 or 2016. This might have been our third time playing together.
Yeah, same instruments that you're using also.
Yes. So that green thing over there is the same as the green thing I have over here. It's the TR8 drum machine.
By Roland.
Roland. Yeah.
Okay. Wow, here's a lot
So
of
he's got
toys around.
got similar. So he's got like these square grid-like objects, which I have here as well, which is called a
Okay.
launch pad.
Launchpad Innovate.
Novation. Yeah.
Innovation, no?
And then
Right.
he's got a flat like MIDI keyboard.
There. Is it there?
No, bigger one.
Bigger
It's
one,
like full size keys, but it's quite flat lah, so it's easy to travel with. And then he's got some other stuff that like with faders and knobs and.
Nice. Show it. Yeah, you see?
Yeah,
These are just
it's a
like
gadget-
simple
gadget man.
Controller.
simple, cheap MIDI controllers. But it's what you do with
How
it. lah.
cheap do you define cheap?
This is like 100.
I think now it's
100.
like less than $100.
Yeah, less
I
than
just
$100.
bought one for like 79.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh,
Or you can find on Carousel even cheaper. lah.
yeah.
But brand new, if you can buy from City Music, because this is called, it's around the low hundreds lah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I have another special, another one video. Where is that?
This was also at Kyo.
Also at Kyo.
wow.
Is that
Yeah.
you in red?
Yeah. So the previous video was Kyo, original Kyo. This is the Kyo after they did the renovation to the DJ console, where they moved it onto the dance floor. And then
Yeah, that's Kevin.
yeah. So this was later on already. So I think this might have been the last one we played together at Kyo.
Okay.
After that, the club closed. Sad to say.
Yeah. It was one of those clubs that I really like because it had everything. It had the nice PA system.
Oh,
it had
yeah.
an awesome console setup.
Yeah. Wow, this
Great
one.
dance floor.
Sorry, I have to interrupt this. This one, I was there, and this one was filmed by me.
Oh.
Somebody actually tripped his power source and totally went silence, and you did something to bring the hype out the whole crowd.
Yeah, so I mean, you can't have silence while he's like rebooting his computer or whatever, right? So I got onto my vocoder and then I just started doing like a baseline-ish kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then people were just like, they just started freaking out, you know, because it's like one of those things that you never expect.
Correct.
It's totally unplanned, you know, but we saved the situation, and then he went back on his drum machine, and then we just did a thing together. I mean, so this is the magic of live performance, you know, when something unpredictable happens, and you know, someone does something to rescue the situation, and everyone's there to witness it. It's like moments like that can only be experienced, you know, in a room, you know, when something is going on in front of you, you know.
Yeah,
compared
totally.
to like nowadays, everything is behind the screen, you know. You can't replicate 3D into 2D. You just can't.
Can't.
Yeah,
So
it
it's
doesn't work.
like a moment like this, you will never experience anywhere except in a space, you know.
And you never forget.
Yeah, you probably not for a long time.
Yeah,
exactly,
yeah.
Because I mean, like, so all the live streams you watch nowadays, a lot of it is very produced, is very prepared. You know, there's very little room for error or improvisation, or you know. So it's a lot less. How to say? I guess it's a lot less fun because also for the band, they are performing to the crew and not to a crowd.
Yeah.
So the magic and the chemistry is very, very different.
It's like business, right? In a way, you need to answer to your stakeholders. At the same time, you also need to get the groove.
Yeah, I think it's because as a live musician or even as a DJ, when we play out, it's about feeding that energy.
Oh yeah. We are feeding off the energy of the crowd.
Yeah.
At the exact
Without
moment.
that on just a screen,
Exactly. Without that,
doesn't
then
work.
you're just playing for yourself.
thanks for the comments lah.
Playing for the comments. Yeah.
They need more likes
That's-
again. All you guys on Twitch, give us more likes.
Before we go further on into our chat, let's take a look at the people on Twitch. Who do we have here? Anyone?
Hey, Bala.
Hi, Bala.
Bala is everywhere.
Yeah, he was saying
what's
that.
up, man?
King was in Singapore.
King come to Singapore almost every year, bro. Hello.
Like how many times? 6-7 times.
I
right?
mean, almost every year. So 2019 was the last one. So 19, 18, 17, 16, 15. I played for all. I played with him on all 5. I think 14 was his first time here. That was the only time I didn't play with him. And even then, you know, the thing about these guys is like, you know,
He said he missed out.
so the thing about these guys, I mean, they are like really top level of their game, you know. So you would expect them to be sometimes a little bit diva, especially like if I say, hey, can I jam? You know, it's like sometimes you're a bit paise, you know. But I think I can't remember how it happened the very first time. I think I was booked to warm up for him, and then he saw that I was playing this this electric, well, it's like an electric sax lah. It's called an EV. So he was a bit like, what the hell is that? You know, so he's never seen before. Then he saw me playing it during my set. And okay, so during his set, after a few drinks, then you a bit paise already, right? Then he's like, hey, can jam not? the liquid courage come, So I just like, you know what, screw it lah, you know, I'm already in here with him, I'm in the booth, might as well ask lah, you know.
Correct lah.
So ask, then okay lor. And then he's like, yeah, okay, sure. Then we put on something, then we jam. So that was unplanned, no rehearsal, nothing. He didn't even tell me what was what. He just played. So I just did what I did, and I played as well. And it was a pretty epic moment again. Like, again, one of those things that you know, it's just magic that just happens. Like,
Nice.
and then since then, I think after that, he was a bit more convinced. So the following years when he was booked, I think the promoter will also say, hey, you want to get Kaye to come and play with you? And he'd be like, yeah, sure. You know, because for him, I can understand, because I've done this as well. As a one-man show, sometimes it's like, it can be very draining, you know. And if you have someone else to like a band member,
Yeah, it's a
so
vibe,
like,
right?
Yeah, so it's because he's playing
3 hours.
He knows all his material.
Yep.
So all the stuff that he dishes out is like all the tricks he know already, you know.
Yep.
But then if I put someone next to him, like me, then there's suddenly a little bit more element of surprise. because he doesn't know what I'm going to do or how I'm going to play whatever that will interact with his music, you know, maybe elevate the experience for the crowd, and
True,
you know, and then
true.
he also be like, wow, I never heard it done this way before, so he also like a bit shocked lah.
Yeah, that's the beauty of improvisation, I think. That's why I love improvisational music because of that. There's the element of really something unexpected, you know, and then there's sometimes you discover something, there's just a loop that you didn't expect. It would layer just nice with something else and stuff like that. You know? That's the best part. And I think you're one of those musicians that I see playing in the circuit so often, right? We see so many guys go around, but your improvisational style always really match well with the dance music,
Rhythm,
the DJs, the vibe.
I
that
think
really helps that.
Yeah,
On the floor we
that's
feel
true.
it.
That's true. That's true. I mean, I think it's also important that the musician playing with the DJ or whatever has some kind of understanding of the music that he's playing. So if like you're a house DJ, if I'm a musician that understands house music, I will be able to make the experience so much better. Whereas if I was a musician that knows nothing about house music, then
totally.
I won't really know how to enhance the experience, because there's maybe certain ways of like how soloists play on house records, or certain lines that are very famous in house music or whatever.
Yeah.
True,
That guy won't be able to know, he won't know what, you know.
True.
And a lot of the times I also feel that musicians don't like to give space. So
In what way? I mean, don't
in
mind
what way?
sharing.
A lot of times I have noticed when other musicians play with other DJs, they are not working together. So they are not working together to create a better experience.
You don't want to unify as one.
The guy is there, okay, I'm booked to play 2 15-minute set or 2 half-an-hour set, whatever. I stand there, okay, time to play. So it's like, then you're not helping the DJ because you're just playing, you're just making a lot of sound, you know, you're not enhancing the experience, you know. Conversely, if a DJ is playing and then he knows that there's a musician going to be playing, the DJ should also have an understanding and say, okay, this guy plays the saxophone. Maybe my next track, I play a track without a saxophone.
Yep.
You know, rather than purposely play a track with like 2-3
Sabo
saxophones.
you, right?
Then like, walao, you know.
Sometimes like go careless whisper.
Okay, talking about that, I got a curious question. Why not Kenny G?
No
no
lah,
offense.
no lah, cannot lah. Kenny G not jazz lah, bro.
Not jazz.
Sorry to all the Kenny G fans out there.
I don't know. Okay, but I'm just curious. You say you started off with a saxophone, you know, wind instrument. That's only what?
Yeah, okay. So like all this stuff, right?
Yes.
So back then I was always still quite curious lah. I was listening to mainly jazz,
Okay.
singer-songwriter stuff, you know, like Jackson Brown, Neil Young, that kind of stuff, and then hip hop. So I was heavy into like Public Enemy, De La Soul, Jungle Brothers, Tribe, those guys. So those were my main modes lah.
Okay.
Right. Then I got somehow exposed to playing in clubs. I can't even remember how it happened, but someone thought it would be a good idea to book me to play in a club. So it was the very first time I played in a club. And then
Remember which club? That's his memory.
Amoeba with Terso. Amoeba, Muhammad Sultan. I think that was Nadia's club, if I'm not wrong. Nadia Hotel Golong. So I think that was my very first gig playing as a DJ, playing as a musician with a DJ.
Okay.
And then after that, I got to know Brandon P. And then Brandon P at the time was a resident at Knox.
Yay, Brandon, if you're watching this.
And then Brandon knew Dean, my current partner at Dark Networks.
Yeah.
So he had a night. It was like one of those off-peak nights lah, not Friday, Saturday lah. I think it was a Sunday night. I still remember the name of the night. It was called Case Study. So
Fits your name. Fits your name.
so he that time Dean was still studying overseas. So he booked Dean to play, and then he booked me to play as well. And then okay lor, just play lah.
Okay.
You know, but that was the first time, because that time was early 2000s.
Okay.
So that was around the time like the whole broken beat new jazz
Yep.
vibe was slowly creeping into the dance scene.
Dean was really into that broken
Dean was
beat
into
thing.
that, all the four hero, Kaye and Digo kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So when he was dropping out that music on the dance floor, I was like, I damn steam lah, because it's like
That jazz influence.
holy shit, it's like
yeah.
I hear jazz all around me, but it's like with a dance beat and everything. So that got me really curious about electronic music after that.
Okay.
So again, I have to give credit where credit's due. So Dean exposed me to that whole other side of like the jazzy dance music, the stuff that's not so loopy, where they actually use like complex harmonies and chord structures, and not that I can claim to know any of it lah, but
Okay.
I can identify it when I hear it lah, So I was listening to all that, I'm like, damn, I gotta get into this, Then started learning about music production. So started getting into it. So started with Digital Performer, then went on to Reason. So I was with Reason for quite a while, and then after that, finally found my home in Ableton lah.
Nice.
But yeah, that was the transition from like jazz music to jazz influenced dance music to jazz straight out dance music, And I still love all three versions of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Quite a comprehensive journey that it has, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting because we know the history of dance music, where the roots of it, where it started in the late
80s.
late 70s, early 80s, where there's a bit more of that coming out of the disco kind of a
Studio
era.
54.
That was a lot of jazz influence in that time as well, and for a long time it kind of went missing. Especially like in the 90s dance music, you don't really, other than the house music, right? You don't really hear that jazz influence until it kind of creep back in that kind of breakbeat, broken beat kind of
new jazz vibe.
new jazz, that kind of thing. where I
And
really enjoy
that
it.
time there were also like actual jazz musicians trying their hand at dance music. So it was a great period of experimentation for the two genres lah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
kind
then,
of like Jazzanova, the kind of.
Oh yeah, totally. Jazz Nova, Beanfield, all the Compost, basically Compost record label was pretty much exclusively like broken beat new jazz at the time,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
awesome. All right, wow, that's very, very interesting. So right now, I think we can dive into our next segment, right?
Yeah.
Okay, our next segment, what we're going to do is we're going to try some improvisation, like what Kaye has shared with us, that I'm going to do a jamming with Kaye, and then we'll see how you're going to bring us, I don't know,
On the journey.
Yeah, but before we go into the jamming, let's take a look at our Facebook friends. We have
Who's on Facebook, man?
Rico Smith.
Rico Smith.
Yeah, do you know Rico Smith? He also a DJ. He also
Yeah,
hosts.
Rico. Yeah, I know Rico.
Yeah,
Hey man, what's
say
up?
good evening, gentlemen.
So formal.
And the other one is my friend, is Leslie.
okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
So let's go back to Twitch. Anyone that is keep on laughing, he missed out over there. Is telling Bala that only time that you can catch him is via his Facebook.
There are some recorded sets on YouTube you can check out. as well.
Yeah. So, okay, what you're hearing right now in the background music is by Kaye. That you can actually check his production at kaye.bandcamp.com. You can hear a lot of his own production, and some of it is, working with other people, right? Or Bandcamp is just purely yours.
Bandcamp is purely just me. Yeah.
Okay,
Bandcamp
purely
is
you.
just me.
Okay. Go check it out while we're getting ready for our jam session.
That's a brand new day. That ain't no epidemic. Oh hell. Oh hell.
flight crew. I want to welcome you aboard Deep House Flight 212, service from New York City to the world. We're currently leveled at 125 BPM, and that will probably be our final cruising altitude today unless we plan on going to 129. And just sitting down to please get your ass up and move, dance, scream, yell, and get with the program. Last thing we need is a bunch of squares in here. That is what we do in the cockpit, just in case we encounter some unexpected DJ.
Yeah. We are back. Are we back?
Alright.
Yeah, we are back.
That was awesome, guys.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed the beats.
Thank you.
And yeah, haven't heard that jamming vibes for a while, no? And for me, because now it's live, right? So they're like, not just on the
Private audience.
Yeah, private audience. Nice one.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thanks.
No, thank
So, just now you are sharing with me about your this digital. What is it called again?
It's called an EWI.
EWI.
Yeah, so it stands for electric wind instrument.
Aye.
So it kind of doubles up as a like electric saxophone.
So you still need to blow.
You still need to blow.
Aye.
And if you are familiar with playing the clarinet, the saxophone, I think maybe even the flute, they have fingerings for that as well.
Oh.
Yeah, so you have clarinet fingering, you have a saxophone fingering.
Can you demo without the music and then let people have a hear?
Yeah, so like you have
There's numbers behind actually.
so you have 100 preset sounds.
Wow.
So
So it's essentially a wind-controlled synthesizer or keyboard.
wind
In a
controlled
sense, yeah.
synthesizer. Yeah. So this one, there's a few different models. This one has a built-in analog modeling synthesizer. Fewer later models were more like sample based, but I like this because I can program it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's have the.
So stuff like that. And then it's got a 8 octave range. So
So it's behind. You know, like
it's behind.
like the washing clothes the board.
What's what?
what?
So all sorts of sounds lah.
Does it have a saxophone sound?
It has, but I prefer not to use it because honestly, you want saxophone song, go and play the real saxophone lah.
You heard that? Nothing can
Nothing
replace
like the real thing, right?
thing.
Yeah. I mean, saxophone is probably one of the few instruments that is extremely hard to replicate in a digital setting. So like, I think even trumpet is a bit easier to emulate than the saxophone.
Oh, do we have?
No, this one don't have. I delete all the saxophone sounds because I like it for its electronic sounds.
Oh, you preset your own.
Yeah.
You input. Okay.
Yeah, because it's like an analog synth. So you have the software editor, so it comes out like literally like analog synth, got oscillator, got
So you can
ADSR, got,
create your own.
so you create your own patches.
Hey, Rafi, just now you were saying you also used to play clarinet.
Well, that was 3 lifetimes ago.
3 lifetimes
3
ago.
lifetimes ago, when I was in a military band. So I wanted to join military band because I wanted to play the drums, right?
Oh,
So but when I was in secondary school, then it's like auditions time, right? It's like, oh, drums is full already. Only got opening in woodwinds.
Alamak.
So like, okay, what is woodwinds?
Oh, what is woodwind?
It's like you can use clarinet or you can choose saxophone.
Woodwind.
So you try which one you can blow.
Woodwind, I thought supposed to be materials made out of wood. That's why they call
Well,
woodwind.
the reed of the instrument is made of wood. So
that's
the
why it's-
actual part that creates the vibration in the instrument is a piece of wood called
Yeah.
a reed.
So does this come with no?
No, this doesn't. There are other brands like Yamaha has WX series. That one comes with a reed. So that one plays like an actual saxophone would play because it has a mouthpiece, it has a reed. So I think it's about like a soprano saxophone size. Yeah, but this one is just a piece of rubber. You can just maybe blow also can make sound.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can buy one for your boy and try.
Can try. Now he's been asking for a trumpet
Okay.
and a violin. But I tell him violin you don't learn because it's gonna be very irritating.
Oh my god, yeah. No. The parents will go crazy, man. Parents will go crazy. Every day is chalkboard on the nails on the chalkboard. No?
Okay, let's come to our line Twitch and see who's on Twitch.
Who do we have?
Who do we have? Still our
I can't
faithful
see.
Balar. Who else? Of course, big shout to our producer, director of Singapore Community Radio, Darren Dubwise in the house.
Darren
Thank you very
Dubwise.
much for having us once again. And Bala, enjoy yourself. You say nice only, nice. Is this you? Circular 78?
Nope.
No, who is Circular 78? Hi, Circular 78. You say on fire. Thank you very much for
Yes.
supporting.
There was a hydrate. Circular 78 redeemed a hydrate earlier, so
Okay.
Got hydrated.
Kay got hydrated.
Yeah,
so
I just got my
shout out
water.
to Circular 78. So
Okay.
good job.
Let's come to a Facebook. Facebook, who do we have? Of course, we have Rico, we have Leslie, and Shanshan. Hello, Shanshan.
Shafiq is here
And
also.
Shafiq.
Hey,
Yeah.
Shafiq. What's up?
Okay, talking about Shafiq, I heard something that you guys are doing something
You guys are
together.
Yes.
kind of working together or something, right? Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, Shafiq recently started music school. So we are teaching music production
Right.
using software called Ableton. And Shafiq is one of two, I believe two, Ableton certified trainers in Singapore, which is not an easy title to get.
Yes. Yeah.
And because he is an Able certified trainer, he is allowed to start an Able certified training center.
Okay.
So
wow.
the school is called Great Culture. Check it out. And it is the first Ableton certified training center in Singapore. There are others in Thailand and Malaysia and around the region, but in Singapore we are the first. And he pretty much got me, myself, Louis Intriguant, and Z to help him as core instructors lah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you are one of the core instructors.
Yeah, so I'm one of the core instructors. I actually had my first class last weekend.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So we had our first graduate already.
How do you feel? How do you feel that?
Yeah, I mean, I've always liked teaching, because I think I'm able to explain concepts in a way that people can understand easily. Because I've had experience like teaching whether it's like software or like gear or whatever, people come in like totally clueless, and then after one or two sessions with me, they always feedback and say it's a lot clearer to them now. lah.
Okay.
So I think I have a bit of a knack for that. lah.
I think because you have been through, you know what are the things I look out for and how to explain, kind of scaffold for them easier to explain.
Yeah, I guess having the real world experience helps a lot lah, because it's not as though I'm like just reading off lecture slides or textbook or something, So like I've actual real world experience using it. I use it every day. So because of that, I will explain things in the way I will find myself easy to understand, rather than something like a manual will do to explain to you. But just use everyday terms lah,
So is there the minimum age to sign up?
no,
Can Rafi's son sign up?
I think that one
Might be a
maybe
bit young.
must be tall enough to reach console. So
Gotta leave him
Well, we
out.
train him well right? At home, the DJ console, you try.
So I guess minimum height needs to be about here lah. I mean, we haven't set an age limit,
Okay.
so I really don't think anyone at the age of 3 is going to sign up.
Yeah.
So we're quite safe there, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, and you don't need to have any background in music making or music theory, but you do need to have a love and interest for making music lah. And then let us do the rest.
Yeah.
What kind of rest? How keen to know.
I think it's because music production is so in depth, right? So how will you approach like this big topic? What's the core things you think someone needs to learn?
Putting sounds together. So for example, maybe just make a beat. I think a beat is something that almost everybody will understand. So
like for example?
Oh yeah, I can demo.
so
Yeah,
just
live demonstration.
just make a beat. Simple things like that.
Okay.
So you start with that, and then like Lego lah. Hey, you did this basic thing. Now let's add in a bit of percussion. Let's add in some vocals. Let's add in some guitar chords. Let's add in a bass line. So we'll introduce layer by layer by layer, and then from a beat, now it becomes a loop.
Okay.
And then from a loop, you can make it to become a song. You know, you just go like a bit one level up, a bit one level up, a bit one level up, and before you know it, hey, you made your own song. You know, so and then because I say you don't need to have musical theory background,
Right.
because we will help you to make the software do that for you, work for you. So you can tell the software, I want to play in the key of C, or I want to play in a scale of whatever, and then you can have all these settings. So the software will filter out all the wrong notes lah, the notes that don't fit in this scale. So you play any, you come take any note also correct one.
Wow. I need that, man. How can I get this magic sauce?
And you can have your band come through again.
Yeah, so I mean for people who don't have music theory understanding, I say that's not to be, don't let that stop you from wanting to learn
Right,
music.
because
I myself don't have music theory training, and I'm a professional.
Or read the music notes, right?
Yeah, exactly, and I'm a professional, you know.
I think end of the day is the love for music. That's all.
Yeah, and these days technology is also very advanced.
Right.
To be able to enable people who have no ability of no knowledge of music background to help them make music. You know, so it cuts. I mean, that's what technology should be for. It should make your life a bit easier.
Right.
But don't rely on it too much, such that you know you allow it to do everything lah. You know.
True.
So just a balance of both, you know. Can cheat a little bit, don't cheat all the way, you know. But you cheat a little bit so that you can save on that time to do other things, you know.
Right. Definitely.
correct.
Yeah, so it's just about working smart lah, you know. You're planning your workflow and all that.
Yeah, and you mentioned letting the technology work for you, right? So for your workflow, like what you do for your kind of music, your kind of just for your enjoyment, create your own tracks. What are the kind of tech that you use?
Wow, okay.
Like you have some kit here. Maybe you can go through some of the
Yeah, okay, so
stuff that you're using, and then what are your favorite bits that you use?
okay, so one thing was I started off totally in the box. So what in the box means is everything was on the computer.
Right.
Because at that time, all your synthesizers, drum machines were incredibly expensive. They're like
Right.
one piece is like few $1,000s kind. So last time young in school, you can't afford, you know.
Right.
But the software was cheap lah, you know, and it was a standalone, everything inside there. So I went from digital, purely digital.
Right.
And then around the mid 2010s, I started buying analog gear, because at that time, manufacturers were releasing a lot more stuff that similar in function as the old classic analog gear, but at a fraction of the price.
Ooh.
But still analog lah.
Right.
You know,
like the Korg MS-20.
yeah, the Korg MS-20 or the Odyssey, you know, they do a reissue and they sell it for a fraction of the price of the original lah. So great lah, you know. So I started collecting some of those analog stuff. So then I went analog. Then obviously when you do that, then your studio becomes a bit of a hybrid, right? Because you got hardware gear, you got software gear, so you got to buy more stuff to connect everything together, right? So digital to analog, play few years. Now I'm back to digital again.
So which one do you prefer?
I like a bit of both.
Okay.
You know, so digital is great because it doesn't change. You put one setting there, you save, the setting remains the same no matter what. On analog, you put one setting there, 1 week later you go back listen, could be different already. Because of circuitry, because of the heat or humidity, it affects the components, changes the sound a bit, you know, or maybe some pots get rusty. So it won't be 100% the same.
Okay.
So if you're OCD, don't go analog, please. Okay? You're not OCD, can go analog. And
Just try both lah. You know, end of the day, you never know which one actually you like both. You know, sometimes
you never know, huh?
Sometimes it's the you leave it 1 week later like fermentation. The sound interesting.
I find that in using analog gear, there's a bit more experimentation that you can kind of, especially as in the kind of live music that you do, right? Using analog gear, there's a bit more room for this like mistakes.
oh yeah, happy accidents lah.
Yeah, that like, hey, how come like that?
Yeah.
Then actually, oh wow, because this knob was turned this way, this fader wasn't on, that's why we got a different sound.
Yeah, and also because it's a lot more gratifying, because on software you use the mouse, then you click the.
That's
you know.
right, indeed,
But then
that's
this is like, for example, this unit. This is what you call a one knob per function machine. So one knob does one thing, one fader does one thing. So you turn that one knob, you straight away hear already. You do the fader, you straight away you can instantly tell how the sound changes.
Correct.
So in a way, it's a lot more inviting for you to mess with the gear and then like, hey, got different setting. Hey, this funny sound. Don't know how I created it, but you know. So there's room for that kind of magic to happen lah. So like for example, what you see here, this is a drum machine. This is not analog, by the way.
Okay.
So this is the analog modeling, but analog modeling modeling the classic drum machines of the time lah. Roland that was famous for the 808, the 909, 707. And then the rest here, they're just MIDI controllers. So this thing that looks like a chessboard is called a launch pad. So this launch pad basically
it control the interface of the Ableton Live software,
so
right?
I'm using my software called Ableton, and then you see the stuff that's lit basically means that there's some kind of information lah,
Right.
you know. But then I will know what information it is based on what I program on the text there.
Okay.
So like for example, so this is a loop, and then I can play the different loop. So each square
There's a sound, like kind of data bank.
holds a different kind of loop lah,
Okay.
you know.
Okay.
Right, get it? So basically, this allows me to touch my music. So I can launch these little boxes. They call clips. I can launch clips in real time. I can stop them in real time. I can do my own arrangements. Doesn't always have to be linear. Like when you
Okay.
listen to a song from start to finish.
Yeah.
So it's a live set.
Right.
So live set is not like that. Live set is more like that.
Spectrum or whatever.
Yeah, so it's more like spider web lah.
Okay.
You can go any direction one lah.
Okay.
And then like other stuff here, this is basically something for me to do have control over my levels. So my faders for instruments, and then like the knobs. You can assign these to do anything.
So the faders is like the volume.
So the
right?
faders, I assign it to be volume lah.
Okay.
And then for example, okay, like this. Let's see. So for this, I've assigned my first row. Sometimes this happens. Connection.
Sometimes that happens.
Yeah, sometimes happens.
Yeah. So for this, I have like a bass line playing now, and then I've assigned these rows to control certain parameters of the bass sound. So like.
Like your LFO and
So this is like a cutoff. And then like the decay, just certain elements of the sound that I can control lah. Something that would be obvious to the audience ears. So yeah, pretty much there. And then some like rudimentary stuff like a button to overlap, to do my overdubbing if I wanted to record live and all that. And then this one is kind of like a hybrid of both.
This one.
So this guy here is hybrid of both, and you see no wires.
Oh, wireless.
So it's Bluetooth. So it uses a
Nice.
Bluetooth connection.
How reliable is Bluetooth?
To be honest, this is the first time I'm using it purely on Bluetooth, and it's pretty good, I have to say. So, like I don't know. Let's see. Yeah. So if I see, it's instant. There's no
There's
latency.
no latency for
Right? Because usually some instruments like you press, then a while later, then the sound will come out.
Yeah.
But so far,
Wow.
it feels as though I'm playing an actual instrument. So that's great for that. So this is the keyboard, and then with this, I can use this to control the notes as well. But I actually use this for this guy.
So you can insert like drum pads and
Yeah.
sample
There's a response.
triggers.
Yeah, there is
Oh,
response.
because so I'm actually controlling this guy wirelessly. I mean, I can use the faders and stuff lah, but I have the option of doing, you know,
Finger drumming.
controlling this wirelessly as well, and it'll be good because I can do like drum rolls.
Hey, your band, drum.
Yeah, so stuff like that lah.
Oh, Vala was asking, what is the wireless one called?
It's the.
This is called the Nano Key Studio.
Nano Key Studio.
So they have,
Yeah.
I think they have 2 or 3 in the range. This one is the one with the pad and the keyboard and the knobs. There's another one which is basically just like your mixer. So it's just channel faders and then like your solo, record, mute, and then a big wheel for like scrubbing forward and back the audio lah. So if you want to like play with music, like whether doing like finger drumming on pads or playing actual keys on chords, this is actually a very good buy. Yeah, and there's even like a XY like Chaos pad style thing that you can program yourself.
Yes.
Yeah. So very, very handy.
Not bad. It's cool.
So
It's pretty compact still. You can just basically your whole setup here.
Yeah, man.
Fits
Can
into a
fit
backpack.
in a backpack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then I ride bicycle here some more.
Exactly, guys. Kaye rode a bicycle here today.
Back to the studio. Like, wow. So I assume this is the. If you go happens to have the chance, or even your previous past show that you travel for overseas gig, you also bring something similar like this.
Yeah, that's the thing about me. I very itchy backside one. Every live show I get booked for, right, always must gata, always must change the setup one. I'm never satisfied with one layout.
Okay.
Like I will have one setup, like with certain instruments. Then I'll do 1 show or 2 shows with it. Then after that, bored already. Then swap out the equipment. Put in one maybe another like analog based machine, and maybe try different. Try a different drum machine, or less controllers, or no laptop. So I've got different configurations for a lot of things lah, because itchy backside lah, cannot settle.
No lah. Actually, it's not really.
It's called experimentation.
Correct. I mean,
Yeah, but it's kind of bad habit, because then I don't get to practice very often on the same setup and get very smooth on the same setup. Because I'm always like changing stuff around, and then sometimes you like, last time got this one, but it's not here anymore. What was I supposed to do? What button was I supposed to press? I think like sotong, So sometimes not very good for that lah.
But as a fan, people that kind of attend his show, it's like, hey, new setup again. What's it gonna do? I'm like,
Yeah, you know what? That's a very interesting point you raised. I think why I always ended up doing like changing setups was because we live in a tiny ass city like Singapore. There's only like maybe 2-3 venues that you can go that I can play my showcase, this kind of stuff. So in a sense, I'm always pressured that every time I show up, I need to present new stuff. Because if
you might be performing to the same audience.
because chances are I'll be performing to the same audience. Exactly right. It's not say I do tour, I go Jurong Island, then I go Changi Airport, then I go Woodlands,
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way. You will see the same jokers in front of you. And then you play the same set, you'll be like, yeah, last time I see you, I hear this before.
Yeah.
So it's always that constant pressure.
It's the same look, okay?
Yeah, but then you see the argument is then you like touring DJs or touring live acts. They do the same set or they do the same DJ set playlist,
Yeah.
club in, club out, day in, day out. But it works. Why? Because they are in a different city.
Correct.
Every other day they're in a different city. They are facing different people every other day who would not know that they did the same set 2 days ago.
Correct.
But I can't get away with that here. So that's also another problem for me I have to grapple with lah. So I was always pressured to constantly come up with new material, constantly come up with new layouts and new setups, just to like keep people interested lah, rather than last month I hear you, I see here the same thing, so yeah, so that I mean that's not a good thing also lah, because then you don't practice the same thing, you don't get good, because you go to a U2 concert, they close eyes, they can do. They've been playing the same bloody song for 25 years,
Yeah, man.
That's why it sounds so amazing, because they don't even have to put any effort into it, and then they can just do one thing, then everybody reacts in a certain way, But they got to that stage because they've been playing the same damn songs for all these years, lah. So that's a big difference, lah.
Totally.
Well, I would say that on the brighter side, he knows more things.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. In that sense, because you get to experiment with different layouts, you also understand your workflow better, right? What works, what doesn't work.
Yeah, true. And then exactly like things like with compatibility issues, because there's a lot of things that when you see people like present, already they've ironed out all the bugs and the kinks and the stuff under the hood already. But actually when you're preparing for a live set, there's a lot of small things, right? Like, why isn't this talking to that? Why the MIDI CC note number is different because different devices have assigned different notes. Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff that goes under the hood to like, okay, because when you say CC1, it means 0 on this device and it means something else on another device or something like that, for example. So I've had more than one occasion where I'm trying for the life of me to do something very simple, but that machine just wouldn't understand it. Why? Because it was written in a little bit different language. So I just have to move everything by one digit. Then okay already.
Okay.
So
something like that, So and these kind of things you won't know until you actually go and experiment with the gear, hook it up, and try to do it. Then you get so bloody annoyed because it's not.
Yeah, because in theory it's supposed to work, right?
In theory, I just tell this guy to do this one job. I put the number here. It's supposed to, but it's not doing it. Why? Because the manufacturer decided to kiang and move everything one number down.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
I'm looking at you, Yamaha. you know.
Oh well. Okay. Interesting question gonna ask. How many gears do you have at home?
Well.
Since you like switch here, new stuff. Have you been buying stuff lately?
No lah, stop buying. No income. Buy what? buy side.
What is the latest count that you have for your equipment at home?
I don't count.
Roughly.
Well, if you're talking about hardware, instruments,
like all this MIDI controller.
Okay, controllers I don't have a lot. Controller, actually, 1, 2, 3. I think 1 or 2 more at home. That's it.
Like you've been working.
But the ones that I use regularly will be 1 and 2.
Okay.
When I'm working at home in my studio, these 2 will always be connected to the system. This one sometimes.
Okay.
But these 3 are the main ones lah.
Okay.
If you're talking about instruments like drum machine maybe I got like 2 or 3. Mono synths quite a lot more. So I think in total about 10 plus or so. Not a big collection.
But still a lot.
But I'm also limited by my space in my studio lah.
Initially we wanted to go his house and film the whole thing.
That would be nice, maybe next time.
Maybe next time. But then you all probably have to suspend yourself on the ceiling.
That's very interesting. So, with all the equipment, these are the regular things that the MIDI controller that for your work. What kind of work? Just not earlier on, we can go to kaye.bandcamp.com to listen to your track. So, which is the that you like your favorite? Is there any particular favorite one?
I won't say there are favorite ones, but there are some that definitely had almost a viral kind of response, and people actually played it in clubs outside of Singapore. And
which one would that be?
That would be this one.
This one.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's the track called Layla.
Layla, okay, so you have internet access right now, which if you're watching us live, should be have internet access. I'm going to paste this onto Twitch chat, and as well as the Facebook chat, and you could access there and have a listen to Layla. Why is it the India flag?
Because this is a series. This is one of the first of a series that I did of doing like DJ style edits, but for Bollywood stuff.
Bollywood style.
Yeah, so for Bollywood music. So updating the music for more modern club vibes lah. So this in particular, because the original is a very famous Bollywood song called Mukabala. And I basically, because like DJ edits, they will take like small part of the song or just like half of the chorus, but this one is not really an edit. This is like a full-on remix already lah. So it's the full song with additional drums and orchestration, backing instruments of my own lah, over the original.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
so
Nice.
So let me boost up the music volume a little bit, so I'll let you have a listen. Do you need to get copyright because it's the original song, right?
yes, that's why when you see on the website, I don't have a price there.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, it's a bit grey lah. Okay. But I'm not selling it lah because you can choose to pay $0 for it mah.
Oh, true.
But if you want to donate $1 or $10, it's up to you.
For the
lah.
effort of remixing.
Yeah lah.
Okay.
So I do that. I do this kind of pricing for all my edits lah. I don't put a price to it. I mean, I know there are a lot of people who do edits and they will put a price tag on it lah. But I'm trying to stay clear of legal issues lah as much as I can. So
Yeah.
I think this is the greyest way I can work around it lah. I mean, if you want to talk hard left, hard right, probably wrong also lah.
But for those people you are listening right now, for music, if you can, buy it and purchase and support the original artist. Even for for Kaye himself, working in the back end, doing all the remixes is not a simple task. So if you really appreciate the person's work, you can always make a donation. If we are not crossing the line, to go against the copyright thing, by all means, we always need to show respect to the producers, to the content creators, all the musicians. Without them, there won't be any more music. So your support is very, very important.
Yeah,
So
I mean, like, credit is given where it's due lah. Right?
Yes,
so always
definitely.
credit where the work was done.
So this album, they has 3 songs.
Yeah, I choose 3 edits.
Okay, 3 edits.
Yeah.
So the first one previously was Layla. This one is Disco Dancer.
Yeah, I mean this one is it's quite fun to play this in the crowd as well because it's got an English chorus
Right.
which goes like I am a disco dancer and then the rest of it is like in Hindi.
Okay.
So when all the people hear like I am a disco dancer in a club, they will all like go nuts lah, and then they all like pretend to do like Bollywood East dance. I don't know. I mean, people have fun when they hear the track, so whatever.
They do the coconut tree thing.
Yeah, all sorts of nonsense lah, So yeah, stuff like that.
And the other one, Oversea.
Yeah, which is actually a play on the original title, which is called Oversea. Oversea was the name of the original song.
Oversea.
And it was also a very, very huge hit way back in the early 2000s or late 90s by a very famous composer called A.R. Rahman.
Oh, okay. Everybody will know A.R. Rahman.
Yeah,
very, very famous. Yes.
So it was one of his songs that he did for a movie, and it was a huge hit lah. So I decided to do a little bit of a reggaeton style kind of vibe, beat to it, and just switch up the vibe lor. Yeah.
Okay.
So these like Indian Bollywood edits were very well received. So I thought, okay lah, maybe every year do one volume lah.
Why not?
Yeah. So
why not?
So last year I released early last year I released another one called India Italo. So
Where
It's
is
like
that?
Italo disco.
so it's like Italo disco, but with using all the Bollywood songs lah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Where is it? Is it
on
in
the
Bandcamp?
on the Bandcamp page.
Okay, I'm going to do the Bandcamp again. So, okay. So I'm going to switch over to the other album. I'm going to paste the link into Twitch and onto Facebook. Vikram. What is this Bandcamp exclusive? Bandcamp Day exclusive.
That means this release is only sold on Bandcamp.
Oh, okay.
So you can't find this anywhere else in the world except on Bandcamp. If you wanted to buy it or listen to it lah, yeah.
Okay.
So you can't find all this on Spotify or whatever. Also because of the potential copyright issues, so that's why you can't find it on Spotify lah. But we are looking into it. You might be able to find it on Spotify one day. So who knows?
Great.
Never know.
Never know. That's right. So, without further ado, I think we're going to hand the time over for Kaye to do a showcase.
Another one?
Yeah, another one. And for those who are interested in learning basic music production,
Oh, yes.
you can always visit where? Where can we visit?
Grid culture.
How do we spell Grid Culture? Is Grid
Culture. TURE.
Suddenly cannot
Com,
spell.
right?
You got SG not?
Yeah, I'm going to paste the link. Okay. And we have
The code as well.
yes, we
Oh,
have
yes,
a
we
special
have a special offer.
promo
Right?
code for you. I'm going to paste the link to a Greek culture website. Okay, grid-culture.com. So apparently you can, what I was being told is that you can select the course, and then you, I think before checking out, that's where a place for you to key in the promo code. And the promo code we have on the screen is Grid Culture K10. Okay, I've asked, is it case sensitive? No. You can key in small caps, big caps, whatever caps you want. And you just key in and you will enjoy 10% discount off the basic music production course. You know, of course, this is if you like to learn from Kaye. He also the man, as you can see, he's so versatile with the equipment that he's using, the improvisation of the instruments. You know, he will explain things that, you know, basic to the point that you will understand. Ensure that you will understand what he's trying to share with you and teach you. To the point that you're like, oh, eureka! Ding! Finally you understand. And the most important thing is you do not require have any music background. What's the most important is
You have the passion. Right? And you love music, right? So you can learn how to create your own. Totally,
it's so weird, you know, sitting right in front of me.
It's so far.
Yeah, you used to be on. Yeah. So what's gonna happen right now is that, you know, if you really want to enjoy and learn something about music, basic music production, this is the place. Because reason why is that they are the Singapore first Aberdeen Software Certified Training
Certified
Center.
Training Center.
Yeah,
right?
Okay, so aside the software, the most important thing is that the passion of making music of your own and learning from the professional, which are all these guys. They have been in the industry for at least 2 decades. No, at least 1 decade lah.
Okay, it's been here for 2 decades.
Yeah, that's how
超老了。
that's how long we
Yeah,
knew.
but expert ma.
That's how long we know each other too. Yeah, look at my co-host. His hair.
Hey. Don't say the hair.
Yeah, this is called wisdom. Alright, so I'm going to hand the time. Okay, are you ready?
Yeah, one of my gear is not being detected, but
Oh, this is what
never mind.
happens during live sets sometimes.
Yeah, never mind. We'll
It
go.
happens.
Okay, so there will be more stuff. You know, if you really want to catch a Kaye's production, music
Yeah,
production.
check out the links again, right?
Okay, can.
Yeah,
Let's
so
go.
okay, I'm going to hand
Okay,
the
it's all
time
good.
over to Kaye right now to do a live showcase for you guys. Enjoy. Yay! Welcome back once again.
Sorry, a bit of
Awesome.
technical difficulty.
No worries, Kaye. I don't think
worries.
anybody noticed.
No, this is something that computers, something that we rely on technology. Sometimes it just doesn't work that way how we expected it to be, right?
Yeah, and then you just need to be able to, show must go on, right?
Yes.
So you gotta
Gotta think fast.
Yeah,
make it
exactly.
work.
So that's the exciting part, and also the damn sian part about doing live performances. I've ever had to book for a DJ gig, and think the venue didn't have like a console, so I had to bring my own controller. And I think for some reason my controller just wouldn't work. So like no console, no controller. Like
How?
Because the saxophone.
so use mouse on the fly plan keyboard shortcut. Then
I'm doing
man.
using right now.
stuff like that lah.
Yeah. And this is when you're being constrained as an artist. This is where the creative juice comes in. You're being squeezed.
That's where all those hours in the studio come in handy, right?
Well, yeah, it pays off lah. Yeah. Now I know why cannot connect. Cause battery die.
Charge the batteries, bro. Bluetooth lah. this one.
Bluetooth.
That's why lah.
Okay, for myself, Jason, Itchi, and the Rafi team, we thank you very much for coming out to
Thank
our
you for having me
studios.
here.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much for joining us.
For those who really want to learn basic music productions, and you want to have Kaye to be your core instructor to teach you the fundamental beat making, fundamental of music making, even to explain to the way that you could understand, he's the man. And do watch out for this, on the screen right now. If you can see, can we show them the promo code for you to enjoy 10% off for this course? All you have to do is make full use of this code, which is Great Culture K10. It's not case sensitive, so which means you can key in low caps, big caps, high caps, whatever caps lah, or even the caps,
Small cap, big cap.
big caps, small
Baseball
cap.
cap.
Yeah. So anyway, use this promo code for yourself to sign up this basic music production course and enjoy 10% off. And where can you go? Greedculture.com. So
right.
greed-culture.com. So of course, if you would like to check out more of Kaye's production, you can always go to Bandcamp, which is Kaye.bandcamp.com. You can look out and check out all his stuff. Another one which I didn't actually share with you, which is you can go to soundcloud.com. And why is it called Caveman?
Why
Caveman, right?
Caveman?
Caveman, okay. This is how it's spelled. Okay, you go to soundcloud.com, Kayeveman, Caveman. You can listen to other production or even collaboration work that he has done with his friends all around the world. So, thank you for tuning in. For those people on Twitch, let's take a look who's still around. Bala's still around. Secular 78, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for Bala for staying with us throughout the entire show. And who else
do we have?
on
My phone go back
Facebook? Thank you, Shafi, for tuning in. Rico, and of course Shanshan. And lastly, thank you for you guys, for tuning in. If you can't catch us live, you can always look for our replay. That we're going to be available right away.
On the SG Community Radio YouTube channel and as well on a replay on Facebook, right?
Yeah, that's right. So I think that's all for tonight, right? Cool. Anything else you want to say to the people or your fans out there?
Stay safe, stay healthy.
Stay safe, stay healthy. Signing off, Jason Itchi.
It's Rafi Din. Thank you so much. We'll see you next month for the next edition of Art Rhythm Technique.
ART. See ya.
See ya.